all.
Corrin in general, I feel like just matches up into Link so well because you have that massive consistent disjoint to clash and power through so much of Link's typical item play. Like Boomerang gets shut down, arrows get shut down if they weren't already. So it becomes kind of a force for Deltaforce to try and play up rather than play back with a lot of like wave bounce side boomerangs. He's got to play this really close mid range, and that margin for error becomes a whole lot steeper.
We're doing a pretty good job of it right now. That margin for error may be small, but I feel like Delta Force is finding that margin as he is apt to do. Meanwhile, though, Haven starting to get the momentum going. That is one thing with a character choice like Corrin. If you're not warmed up and you don't have that spacing just right, it's really easy to get punished for those laggy aerials.
Yeah, 100%, which is the why you see Haven like really just empty landing around, a lot of dashes and grounded moves. Oh, the footstool out of shield in order to get
Ooh.
out of there, trying to read a wall back with that forward smash. Instead, though, just getting the ledge trap for his troubles. But we're back at oh wait, I was gonna say we're backing off, but instead Haven trying to bait Delta Force into that Dragon Fang. No dice though, as it is Delta Force taking the first stock with that bomb ledge trap, landing the forward tilt for the finisher.
And this puts Delta Force exactly where he wants to be, forces Haven to make something happen, which, again, keeps finding ways to get in. But if you can't get this stock off, not even close with those throws right now, doesn't even bother for the up throw, then it's very easy for Delta Force to start to nickel and dime, a pretty scary advantage here.
I've been loving. So I watch Delta Force a lot just by nature of like North Jersey friend of mine.
Ooh,
Seeing
nice
him
catch.
hunt for a extensions like that with the dash attack, and b playing off of the platforms extremely well with things like down tilt, up tilt after combos to set up onto the platforms. Down throw as well being pretty consistent. Anything to extend off of the platforms has been so huge, and it just creates these easy bake extensions.
Oh,
Holy
oh,
moly, Delta
oh.
Force, just like that.
That's it. And we saw exactly why that position's so scary for Delta Force's advantage. Haven had to make something happen. You're down in the game. You have to start taking the risks, making the reads, approaching even though you don't necessarily want to as Corrin. And Delta Force did such a good job of taking advantage of that with that extension at the end, catching him off guard, but even just closing out that second stock, that little scoop you were talking about with the dash attack, that move is, when it hits, it hits. And honestly, great stuff to Delta Force for being able to recognize the patterns in Haven's offense and find those kinds of big swing openings that his character needs.
Yeah, you're not always going to be able to get the openings that you need in a nickel and dime neutral game. You've got to figure out how to make that extra push, like one step further in order to put on that extra damage and extend your offense. Like, it's not always about like playing the defense to never get hit. Eventually, you got to find ways to win the game, and Delta Force certainly found some great ones in game number 1. But it is the start of the game number 2 that is sending Haven straight forward, looking to get us into a game number 3 if he has anything to say about it.
Yeah, I see Goose in the chat saying Link is top tier in 2024. And, well, Delta Force definitely makes it look that way sometimes. I think we just got reminded why that is not actually the case. This character's got some pretty defined weaknesses. And now that you're behind, the shoe is on the other foot from the last game, and it's up to Delta Force to make something happen while Haven gets to now sit back and just punish those approaches.
Just ever so slightly off on the tech chase, and man, losing an offensive opening like that and then getting it turned into the frame trap city that Corrin can put you in. Look at that, instantly 96, and it felt like nothing happened.
Oh,
Instantly gone.
Through the stage.
I mean, that's a hard punish for something that Delta Force gets away with far too often. That reverse up B, like, no, sir. Just grab ledge.
Yeah, great adaptation for Haven. Recognizing that pattern, like you said, Delta Force gets away with that a little bit too often. And now Haven, after a pretty dominant first game from Delta Force, on the precipice of a 3-stock.
Smash Ultimate's a funny game. Oh, sir.
Oh, with a funny move as well. Can we get another? No, not quite. But Haven in a pretty good spot still. Deltaforce swinging out of the corner. But at this point, I think it's more a matter of just trying to get some momentum back. I think this game's kind of over at this point.
Yeah, it's a go next type of game. But the whole point of go next type games is to try and figure stuff out that works. And what's always going to work is edge guarding Corrin in some degree. Just like is that shield trap. You gotta hold and angle your shield up and in towards where the chainsaw hitbox of that forward smash is, and just hope and pray that the 11th hit comes and you can roll out and get out of that dangerous situation. It's a tough spot to be in though, and Haven
that's the checkmate right there.
That game number 2. Checkmate.
It feels so bad too, because you just gotta sit there and wait. Like, you know it's over. You know you're not SDIing out of that. And you just have to wait for the full charge into the kill. However, Deltaforce showed the signs of life at the end. That's what we're talking about with those momentum swings. Managed to get the kill and at least make it a JV3, not a full 3 stock. And let's see if that can help out a little bit on his counter pick.
I know Deltaforce absolutely loves Town and City for Link. The small side blast zones are incredibly good for how he likes to orient his offense, especially given how Corrin's more consistent ways of closing out stocks tend to be vertical. Maybe you can play into that consistency a little bit. Oh, as
even just not having to worry about the throw as much can be big, because it means at high percents, shield becomes much more of an option. And we've seen how much Deltaforce thrives in those high percent situations if you can force Haven to approach and fish for those kills. So that alone could be huge for Deltaforce in this game 3.
Trying to call out these jumps, and instead we're just stuffing out Haven into this corner. These side platforms are allowing so much escapism from both players here. And then the dash tech landing again, 2 for 2 in the set here, Lentini.
That DI, Haven knew how high that blast zone is, just held in, went to absolute space on that dash attack. But now you're stuck in the corner. The pin, great response from Haven, reversing the situation, fishing with those back airs, fishing with those up airs, but Deltaforce swings out with the boomerang. Such fantastic defense from both of these players.
We're reaching some extreme kill percentage. Finally, it's the remote bomb hitbox that's going to finish off the stock. Once you get tapped with the bomb, all that Deltaforce needs to do is react. Just like both players reacted to that stretcher situation, and getting out of that with the boomerang yet again. But the up air from Haven finishes off stock number 1, keeping us in our most even game of this set here, Lentini. Finally, some back and forth.
Talk about a back and forth set. Deltaforce had his game, Haven had his game, and I was like, okay, now let's just play some good fundamental Smash Ultimate. No shenanigans on the field, just this once. Just have a nice shenanigans-free, neutral-heavy game and see who can come out on top.
After like almost 20 seconds of them like whiffing and moving around each other, finally some hits are connecting, and it's Haven taking the lead here. As well as that Nair out of hit stun as well. Deltaforce not getting too much respect when it comes to those Nair chains anymore. Haven's pressing buttons.
Yes, he is, but he's getting away with it, and you can see there's that down throw, sending Deltaforce into the corner. Once again, managing to... Oh, no! The bomb was a little bit too close, and now Haven is making you pay for it. But those high recoveries, Deltaforce has been doing a lot of them, and Haven doing a great job of finally calling that out.
An interesting place to set up the bomb ledge trap, baiting Haven in just ever so slightly. Man, it's such a dangerous projectile to be on the screen at any lingering moment. Another use of that bomb to try and force Haven into the corner, yet no finisher. Haven just able to get away from that spin attack and gets what is normally a pretty juicy starter, but he missed the up tilt follow-up.
Okay, I like that extension from Haven. Deltaforce starting to look pretty rough, and oh no! The Town and City Classic. Unfortunately, Deltaforce's counter pick ends up